Hello and welcome to another 5 Nights at Freddy's Max Mode guide. Today I'll be covering how to beat one of 3 max modes in 5 Nights at Candy's 2 But Better, called the Rat and Cat Theater Faulty Equipment. If you don't know what 5 Nights at Candy's But Better is, it's a mod for popular 5 Nights at Freddy's fan game 5 Nights at Candy's. Since the original games don't have the most fun or most complex gameplay, 5 Nights at Candy's But Better aims to revamp the gameplay to give it unique mechanics and overall make the gameplay more enjoyable. In my last video, I covered Blood 720, the hardest max mode in 5 Nights at Candy's 1 But Better. If you watch that, then you know that 5 Nights at Candy's But Better also makes the games much harder. According to the max modes list, the max modes in the original 5 Nights at Candy's 2 are placed at 669 and 670, and the 3 in 5 Nights at Candy's 2 But Better are at 128, 130, and 229. Ring Nightmare Faulty Equipment is the hardest of the 3 max modes in 5 Nights at Candy's 2 But Better. It features Candy, Cindy, Chester, Blank, Penguin, and Withered Old Candy. Rat and Cat Theater Faulty Equipment only has Rat and Cat. 820 Faulty Equipment is a combination of the other 2 max modes, being 4 hours of Ring and Nightmare and 4 hours of Rat and Cat Theater. I'll probably talk about Ring and Nightmare Faulty Equipment and 820 Faulty Equipment in a later video, but today I'll be focusing solely on Rat and Cat Theater Faulty Equipment. According to the max modes list, Rat and Cat Theater Faulty Equipment would be my 3rd hardest max mode, but spoiler alert, I found it pretty underrated and it definitely felt harder than Very Hard Golden Freddy and Sister Locations Custom Night. Not sure if it was underrated or if Very Hard Golden Freddy is overrated, since I haven't beaten too many max modes in that difficulty range, but this definitely felt like my 2nd hardest max mode. Before I get into the guide, I would like to announce the channel's first ever sub goal. The first sub goal is to get 500 subs by May 1st of this year. If that happens, then I will beat 5020 and Ultimate Custom Night, also known as my least favorite max mode. If you enjoy the video, then consider subscribing because it helps me out a ton. Thank you all for your continued support, and let's get into how to beat Rat and Cat Theater Faulty Equipment. Before I explain how our 2 antagonists, Rat and Cat, work, I'll go over the main differences between 5 Nights at Candy's 2 and 5 Nights at Candy's 2 But Better. Full disclosure, I have not beaten all of the original 5 Nights at Candy's 2, so if I don't explain the game mechanics in the exact way that they work, I apologize. The first key difference is how fast the light flickers when you flash the hall with your phone. In the original, it flashes about every 1.75 seconds or so, and 5 Nights at Candy's 2 But Better, it flashes much faster, around 75 hundredths of a second. In 5 Nights at Candy's 2, you can ring a phone from any camera. In But Better, you have to ring the phone that corresponds to the camera that you're on. The last huge difference is how the phones actually function. In the original game, you can use the phones for as long as possible, but certain animatronics that are in the same cam as the phone you're ringing will disable the phones for a little bit, but then you can use them again. In FNAF But Better, certain animatronics will also break the phones, but this time permanently. You will also have to repair phones after using them for a certain amount of time. In Ring and Nightmare, Faulty Equipment breaks one camera randomly every attempt that will always be disabled. In Rat and Cat Theater, it breaks 2 cameras permanently at random, one on the left side with cameras 11, 12, and 13, and one on the right side with cameras 14, 15, and 16. Faulty Equipment also makes it so no matter how long you use a phone, you will always have to repair it. Without Faulty Equipment, you can use a phone for a little bit, disable it, and then use it again for a longer amount of time, and then you'll have to fix it. Before I begin, like always, all intervals are for 20 AI only, because why would you play something else? Our first threat is Rat. Both threats are really difficult, but for me, Rat was definitely harder. Rat will appear in the front hallway every 5 seconds. When you see him in the front hall, you have around 8 seconds to ring a phone on the same side he appears on. An important detail is it doesn't matter what camera specifically you ring the phone on, as long as it's on the same side that Rat appears on. Flashing your hall light makes his kill timer much slower. If you constantly flash Rat when he's in the hall but don't ring a phone, it then takes him around 17 seconds to kill you instead. His kill timer is actually a little less than that, since when he hangs over your desk, even if you ring a phone, he will kill you. His other mechanic is if his face appears on the cameras, you have to click different cameras 4 times in under around 1.75 seconds. If you don't do that in time, then normally he will disable your camera for a bit, but you are able to restart it. Faulty Equipment makes it so your cameras get disabled permanently. If you watch my Blood 720 guide, then you should know about how desynced intervals work. If not, I'll give a very basic explanation. Rat won't have movements every 5 seconds. If he's in the hall and then moves to the camera you ring, then he'll move 5 seconds after he gets to the camera and not on every 5-second interval. For example, at the start he'll be in the hall at 5 seconds. If he moves to a camera at 8 seconds, then he'll be back in your hall at 13 seconds. Desynced intervals are really hard to explain, but you kinda get used to them the more you play the game. Our second and final animatronic is Cat. Cat is a lot easier to deal with than Rat at times, but is still very difficult. He will randomly pick a vent to start banging on, which you can tell what side he's on based on what direction his sound cues come from. Once he starts banging on a vent, you have around 7 seconds to start ringing the phone that corresponds to the vent he's banging. After he's done banging on a vent, he will do one of two things. First, and more commonly, he will go bang on another vent after around 3 seconds. An important thing to remember is that he can't bang on the same vent back-to-back times. His second option is going into the hall like Rat does. Instead of using Rat's kill timer, Cat's is much faster. If you don't flash the light, he will kill you after around 4 seconds. If you're flashing the light, he will kill you after around 7 seconds. You deal with him the exact same way that you deal with Rat, but you have to ring the corresponding phone much faster. If both Rat and Cat are in the hall, which is something that can happen, definitely prioritize ringing the side that Cat needs to go to. Because of this, Cat can also get desynced slightly, but it doesn't matter too much since he attacks pretty quickly, and there's a pretty decent margin for error because of how Rat and Cat work together. So now that you know how our two animatronics work, let's go over how we deal with them. First off, an important thing you should be doing constantly no matter what is flashing the hall. Power doesn't exist in Five Nights at Candy's 2 but better, so you might as well constantly flash the hall to know where the animatronics are and to slow them down. Another important thing is while there is one disabled camera on each side of the map, it's still easy to tell where Cat is. If you hear his banging, then look at the 2 active cameras, and if he isn't on either of the active cameras, then he is in the disabled camera, so you ring that phone. Also, I would like to point out that while I'm using a timer, it isn't necessary for this night at all. I just use it to keep track of the total time this max mode took me. There's really only a few different cases that you can get since there are limited attacking options for both animatronics. The first and easiest case is when Cat bangs on a vent and Rat is in the hall on the same side that Cat is. All you have to do is ring the phone that Cat's on and Rat will move over there shortly after. The second case is still pretty easy, but slightly harder than the first case. Cat will bang on one side and Rat will appear in the hall on the other side. Find Cat and ring his phone. If Rat is on the opposite side of the phone that you rang, then wait until Cat's banging stops, then stop the phone you are ringing and move to a camera on the other side of the map and ring a phone there. Third case is where things start to get really tricky. When Cat is in the hall and Rat is also in the hall, you want to ring the side that Cat is on first, preferably on a camera that isn't disabled so you can see exactly when Cat leaves the hall, and then ring the phone for Rat. After that, Cat will immediately go back to banging on the vents. If Cat bangs on a vent and Rat shows up on the same side of the hall, find Cat, ring the phone, and wait for Rat to leave. The final case is by far the hardest case. It's the exact same as case 3, but instead of showing up on the same side as Cat, Rat shows up on the opposite side. When Rat shows up, ring a phone on the side he shows up on, preferably on a camera that isn't disabled, and the second Rat leaves the hall, stop the phone you rang and look for Cat on the opposite side. This is an incredibly tight timing and was the most common way that I died when I got good at every other case. While this night might not sound too bad on paper, it really tests your speed and precision for the full 6 minutes. If I had to compare this to Blood 720, I'd say that Rat and Cat Theater was the same, if not faster speed-wise, but required much more precision, which I really struggled with at times. The nice thing is that there are only a few different situations you could get, but most of them can be difficult at times. The thing that makes this easier than Blood 720 is the fact that if you do get a bunch of really easy cases in a row, then it gives you a lot of time to calm down, repair a bunch of phones, and start getting getting a better grip on things. Another thing that I really struggled with at times was not repairing phones at the right time. This would typically happen if I got a few difficult cases in a row, and if I just got really overwhelmed and panicked a bunch and just straight up forgot to repair them. My tip if you have multiple broken phones is to make sure you have an even distribution of available phones on each side. For example, if you have 2 phones broken on the left and 1 broken on the right, prioritize fixing a phone on the left. If you have 1 broken on each side, then just pick randomly. Having a lot of broken phones makes dealing with CAT a lot harder, so sometimes you just gotta hope you get a bunch of really easy cases in a row, since they will give you much more time to repair the phones. That's pretty much it for Rat and Cat Theater faulty equipment. Overall, this isn't a super complex night, but it relies a lot on speed and precision, which is why it's so difficult. I hope I explained it in a way that makes sense, and if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below. Hope you enjoyed this guide, and let's get into the highlights and my completion of Rat and Cat Theater faulty equipment. Okay, so the reason why I'm doing stream 1 again is because the entirety of last stream my mic was muted and I didn't realize because I don't keep OBS open. I just like minimize it because I have YouTube's thing. So we're doing this again. Starting the next max mode, Rat and Cat Theater faulty equipment. According to the max mode list, it's a ways under Very Hard Golden Freddy, like 75 spots if I had to guess, but I personally find this harder. I haven't played it nearly as much as Very Hard Golden Freddy, but so far I definitely think it's harder. And I don't know if that's because Rat and Cat Theater faulty equipment is underrated, or if Very Hard Golden Freddy is overrated, or I'm just weird. I'll give my full opinion when I beat it, obviously. You wouldn't think this would be a hard max mode because there's only 2 threats, but it's quite tricky. But yeah, I got like an hour 30 playtime, and I've done a decent bit of learning. The only reason I have a timer is just to like keep track of playtime and all that shit. If you didn't like timer strats in Blood 720, the only reason I have a timer here is to like keep track of my playtime. Oh shit, I'm dead. Yeah, whenever a cat shows up in the hall, you gotta be so fast. It is insane. While you gotta be super fast with this night, there's like a good bit of like room for error. I was talking about this yesterday, but you know, you obviously didn't hear me. I really like the sound design in this game. This game is also a lot scarier than Blood 720 because, Jesus Christ, they kill you fast. This game does scare the shit out of me. Like, I'm not actually scared when I play it. I just get so locked in. It just scares the shit out of me. So I am planning on doing the other 2 max modes in this, being Ringing Nightmare faulty equipment, which is a good deal harder, and so is 820. And what 820 is it just combines this and Ringing Nightmare, and it makes you do 4 hours of Ringing Nightmare and 4 hours of this. Also, my PB in this, I got, I think it was like a 307 or something yesterday. Alright, a new PB territory. No! Oh my god. I'm fucking dead. Yeah. Oh, I had a really bad case, and I fucked up with a bunch of phones. Alright, first 4 a.m. I was like a 409, I think. This is definitely like miles easier than Blood 720. Like Blood 720, it was hard and fast, but there was no room for error. This, it's hard and fast, but there's room for error. This is also just like much easier to learn. Timings aren't as tight, and you know, you don't have to like fucking green run everything. Are you shitting me? I thought I had more time to click. This mode just has a lot of problem solving, which I like. I like the problem solving like FNAF games. That's a lie. FNAF 3 is my least favorite one. I like problem solving FNAF games when it doesn't feel unfair like FNAF 3. Ah! Can I get another 3? Alright, cool. Definitely pushed that to get another 3, but whatever. There was no way I was recovering from that. That was insane. I had like 4 phones broken at the same time. I almost did come back from that. If I waited like a little bit longer, I would have been good. Oh, shit. Like, he just kills you so fucking fast, man. It is insane. Oh, shit. Alright. Calling it there. That was solid. I'll take it. Got a 4 a.m. attempt. Another 2 3s, I think? I don't know. I don't remember. I'll take that.
You sure? That's the first berry?
Oh, sorry. Oh, wait. The first berry. The first one. Yeah, the first one. Okay, there we go. And then
No! I got 558. I almost fluked it from 409. I panicked at the end. I thought I was in the clear, but I wasn't. You are shitting me, dude. I got lucky with Blood 720 by shitting my pants at the end. I did not this time. Ugh. Fuck, man. That would have been under 5 hours total playtime for a second hardest. Yeah, so I was playing this yesterday for like the first time in, I don't know, 3 weeks or so, and like in 30 minutes I got to 3 a.m. and I almost fluked this night from 409. The night is 6 minutes long and my PB was 409. Similar to Blood 720, I panicked at the end, but unlike Blood 720, I did not get lucky. So I was in call with some friends. Yeah, I'm just chilling. Night's going great. I don't know why. Similar to Blood 720, I just did not get nervous at all with this. Like, I don't know what it is about FNAF Max modes, I just don't get nervous with them. While I hadn't played this in 3 weeks, it's not like I hadn't been learning anything about it, because I'd been working on the guide and writing the script and doing a bunch of research and all that stuff, which honestly, that's kind of the best way for me to learn Max modes. Because similar with Blood 720, while I was like in the learning process, I was also doing research for the strategy guide, and stuff like that is just like helping me learn the night a lot better. So I'll probably continue doing that for future Max modes. But yeah, I'm doing great, and I see Cat is in the hall here, and I think that I have enough time where I can just sit here and install him out and win. But because Cat's kill timer is so ridiculously small, so I just decide I'm fine. And no. I die at 558.2. 1.8 seconds off from beating the night. That hurt. I am feeling pretty good. Definitely feeling very confident that I can do this. I'm at the point with this where I can consistently get like a minute to 2 minutes in. Yeah, the nice thing about these max modes, they get very, very consistent, which I like a lot. This max mode is definitely a lot. It's not like that RNG reliant, but it's definitely more RNG reliant than Blood 720, because you can get a lot of like really good or bad cases in a row. This entire project has been a little more difficult than I anticipated. Not just with like the max mode, but also the guide, because there isn't much info on this game, and I don't know how to go into the code of it to like look for like the exact animatronic intervals. So when I was like writing the script and all that and doing research, I spent so many nights just like in like random custom nights of this game, just like timing shit. It's majority skill for the most part. There is some luck involved though. Like all of the different cases are like completely skill wise. It's just like, do you get a bunch of really difficult cases in a row? Because if you get a bunch of difficult cases in a row, it makes it harder to repair phones, but it's still like very, very manageable. It's not unfair RNG like something like UCM. It's RNG where it makes you have to play better skill wise. Yeah, I can like consistently get to 2, and then for some reason whenever 2 hits, that's when shit hits the fan. I don't know why. I had this issue when I was playing yesterday as well. It's like, it's not like this night has scaling difficulty like Blood 720. I don't know. Blood 720 doesn't even have that much scaling difficulty. I think I can do this today. I'm feeling good. I feel good now that I'm warmed up. At the very least, I think I can get some good attempts. I'm sure I've already mentioned this before, but I love the sound design in this game. Act 2 was definitely ahead of its time sound design wise. Gameplay wise is a whole nother conversation, but sound design wise, Act 2 is so good. What's wrong with FNAC 2's gameplay? FNAC 2, it's literally just camera camping simulator. It has the same issue of FNAC 1, where pretty much all of the animatronics do the exact same thing. Yeah, no, I was in call with some friends last night when I got that fail who like played GD, and I was like, I'll just like convert this into a percentage to like show that for them so they could understand it more. I mean, they understood it was a really bad fail, especially when I explained it more, but I also kind of just wanted to turn it into a percentage, and the percentage was 99.4 repeating. That would have been such a nice fluke too, especially after how unlucky I got with Blood 720. Just to like fluke a max mode would be so nice. It would only be the second max mode that I will have ever fluked though, if I did end up fluking it, because I got unlucky with Very Hard Golden Freddy, Blood 720, and then I got lucky with Golden Freddy in FNAF 2. The 558, it was just panic. It was eerily similar to the end of my Blood 720 win, where I just like panicked at the end, but this time I just wasn't able to convert it to a win, unfortunately. What max modes do you think will be the hardest game to do out of like all the original FNAF games, or all of the FNAC but better games, or any other games? Out of any other games? Well, according to the max mode list, the hardest is this max mode called Ultimatum, which is in a mod for Ultimate Customite called Ultimate Customite Deluxe, which pretty much just makes it so that, I don't know, it's like 50-20, but you can't cheese the other animatronics, and it just like makes them harder in general. And it is nuts. They're gonna do it eventually. Ultimatum? Beats me. I really don't know, because stuff like UCN, it's just too much for me. Like, I'm better at the max modes where there's fewer characters. There's just less for my brain to process. So that's why stuff like UCN is so difficult for me. But here, I'll pull up the max mode list after this run, and I'll show the nights that I have my eyes on. But yeah, Ultimatum is very, very, very hard. Like, the difference between Ultimatum and Blood 720 is like, I don't know, the difference from like, I don't know, FNAF 1's 420 to Blood 720. You know, it's a huge difference. I'll show a little bit of it too. But I'm gonna try and, I don't know, petition to get this max mode moved up a bit, because this max mode is so much harder than Very Hard Golden Freddy in sister location. Oh my god, that was tight. Do you have a list of max modes that I want to do? Yeah, kind of. I don't know, I have like an idea in my head of something I want to do. But there's so many out there. Like in the max mode list, it goes to like the 700s, you know? Because there's so many FNAF fan games. And there's not like any real set criteria to be on the max mode list. Dude. Oh, thank God you were on that side. No, idiot. Alright, thank God I got an easy case, because otherwise I'd be fucked. Alright, I'm gonna lock in now. That was close. I misflipped a ton. Easy forward to Boyo 6. There we go. See, you knew I could do it today. That was my first attempt past 3 today. Only 5.5 hours of playtime. Not too bad. I'll take that, honestly. For a second hardest max mode, that's not bad. Very happy with that. Anyways, so Rat and Cat Theater faulty equipment. I had a lot of fun with this. The learning process was a little infuriating just because I had a hard time really getting the grasp of the game's mechanics. But once I like knew how to do everything and once I figured out how to do all the cases, I had a lot of fun with this. This was fun. I don't think it was as fun as Blood 720, but still pretty good. I liked it a lot. I really wish I had fluked it from 409. I think that would have been a pretty nice fluke. But that being said, even though I did die at 558, I got very lucky. I only had 2 deaths past 4, being the 409 PB that I had, and then the 558 PB I had. 7 deaths past 3, I'll take that a lot. Yeah, Blood 720, I had 64 deaths past 3. Big difference, big difference. I'm gonna give this like a 92. 92 out of 100. Yeah, a lot of fun. Next max mode I'm doing is probably going to be Ringing Nightmare faulty equipment, but Ringing Nightmare is hard. It's definitely a lot harder than Rat and Cat Theater faulty equipment. I'll do my best on that. It might be a bit because this one seems like it has a much steeper learning curve than Rat and Cat Theater. Thank you everyone for watching. Hope you enjoyed the guide and the highlights. Remember to subscribe. If we hit 500 subs before May 1st of this year, I will be doing 50/20 in UCN. I will talk to you guys later. Peace.